This is Wilson Rothman from MSNBC.com's Gadget Box, and today I've got the flagship HTC phones from all the four carriers. What's so special about HTC? Well, for starters, they're often very solidly built. They're made with metal and glass, which makes them a little bit heavy and sometimes thick, but on the same time, they feel a lot more substantial than, say, a competing product from Samsung. You probably also have heard about HTC's breakthroughs. They were the first to have a 4G phone on Verizon. Before that, they were first with a front and rear-facing camera on the Evo on Sprint. They were the first to have that that huge 4.3-inch screen size. And they've most recently become the first to have a 3D phone with a screen that you can watch in 3D without 3D glasses. Very impressive. But HTC likes to jump in with both feet before they've tested the waters. Does that work? Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Let's take a look at individual models. The Inspire 4G on AT&T was the first HTC phone to have access to HTCSense.com. So you could remotely call forward or check your messages, and you could even use it to remotely lock or even erase a phone that had gone missing. It's got a 8-megapixel camera and a flash and everything else, but it did suffer from some bad battery life. Our friends at Laptop Magazine measured it out at just 4 hours and 48 minutes. That is no good. On the upside, it is just $99, the cheapest of the HTC flagships. The Thunderbolt was the first 4G phone on Verizon. It has since been joined by Samsung and LG and will soon be joined by Motorola as well, but a first is a first. Of course, moving first did have its disadvantages. Its battery life on a 4G network is under 4 hours, and the price tag on there is $250. Is it worth it? Not quite. This is where HTC phones really get exciting. This is the Sensation 4G from T-Mobile. It's the first HTC to have a dual-core processor, and that gives it much better graphics even when you're dealing with the 3D in the user interface itself. And unlike many of its counterparts, it's actually quite slender and attractive. In fact, it's almost as slender as the competing Galaxy S2 from Samsung that's due out later this year. And finally, we have the Evo 3D, Sprint's new flagship. What's 3D about it? Well, a pair of 5-megapixel cameras shoot at the same time to give you a stereoscopic view of things. And best of all, the screen doesn't require you to wear 3D glasses to view it. It's no wonder early adopters are drawn to HTC, but sometimes they have to put up with the growing pains of owning a breakthrough phone. The original Evo on Sprint actually had a firmware update that fixed its battery life problems over time. But you can't expect a firmware update to save you from your own phone. It's a good thing, then, that at least two of these models are worth owning. The HTC Sensation on T-Mobile and the HTC Evo 3D on Sprint really are best in class. For MSNBC.com, I'm Wilson Rothman.